Hi, I'm Blake Rodrig, and this is my Heyward Gibbs Hill Scholarship Portfolio Project. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have in our portfolio and what my suggestions for the portfolio are. So I'm going to go down the list of companies just to see what we have here and how I feel about each one. So AT&T, we have 23 shares. Bristol Myers, we have 400 shares. CenterPoint Energy, we have 150. Cisco Systems, we have 400. Comcast, we have 72 shares. Entergy Corp, we have about 200 shares. ExxonMobil, we have 800. Home Depot, we have 1,600. Our second largest portion of the portfolio. IBM, we have 360. Johnson & Johnson, we have 2,400 shares, which is the largest portion of our portfolio. Next, we have Krispy Kreme Donuts at 200 shares. Pfizer, 825 shares of Pfizer. Qualcomm, we have 200 shares. SAP, we have 100 shares of that. Texas Instruments is our third largest portion of the portfolio at 1,200 shares. And then we have Tyson Foods at 500, Verizon at about 90 shares, and then we have 3M Company at 400 shares. So if we take all of these securities and these stocks and we use the number of shares, and we can find a current market price and take the number of shares, multiply them times the current price to get the current value for each stock, and all together we eventually get a portfolio value. So when we make these calculations, the portfolio value comes out to be a little over 825,000 with our current market prices. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think we could do with them to make our portfolio better. So mainly going to focus on the 4 stocks that I think we should get rid of from the portfolio. CenterPoint Energy, ticker symbol is CNP. We have 150 shares. These sell for about $20.72 a share. I believe that CenterPoint is just not performing up to par like we thought it would. And since it is somewhat of a small portion, I believe that we could take this, even though it is a small portion, and rebalance it, put it somewhere more efficient for our portfolio. Next we have Entergy. Entergy Corp. They've had success in the past, and they've been a fairly steady company, but overall they've just been performing poorly in recent times. Their stock price was over 80. I believe it was about $85. Now it's down to 76. So they've seen quite a fall recently. Since we have 200 shares of that, that would give us about $15,000 we could put elsewhere in our portfolio. Next we have Krispy Kreme Donuts, which I believe we should also sell out of. We have 200 shares of Krispy Kreme, and they are going for about $17.45 a share. So Krispy Kreme has a lot of volatility in their stock price, and it doesn't really have much growth or really a downside as far as I can see, but it seems like they haven't grown much over the past few years, and it would be better to put our money in something more efficient. So the fourth and final stock that I would recommend to sell would be Qualcomm. Qualcomm has fallen from the beginning of the year. They have a downward trend over the past year, and we have 200 shares of Qualcomm, which are priced at about $69.40. So we could take those shares and sell those and get about $13,800 just for our Qualcomm shares. So taking all 4 of the shares and of the companies that I've mentioned, CenterPoint, Entergy, Krispy Kreme, and Qualcomm, we could sell these and receive a little over $35,000. My recommendation would be to take this $35,000 and we can split it 3 ways. Invest in Apple, Amazon, and Sony. All 3 of these companies have been performing very well. They've had great success in recent times, and all 3 companies have had an upward trend and are continuing to grow very steadily. So my recommendation would be to take the 35,000, a little 35 and some change, and to invest it, split it 3 ways in Apple, Amazon, and Sony. If we did that, we could purchase 94 shares of Apple, 27 shares of Amazon, and about 383 shares of Sony. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my recommendations.